We're going to jump off here into your first case study. And this one has to do with not necessarily jumping in right away and expecting that you're going to have sales success, but taking a step back, building a course in this example, and using that course as a means to something greater. So tell us about the first case study.
So the first case study deals with a company I was working for that performs win-loss analysis services and technology. So we would go into a company and we would analyze the deals. We would talk to their buyers after a deal gets closed, and we would figure out from the buyer's perspective why a deal is won and why a deal is lost, record those conversations, pick out the themes, report them back to the company so that they can make the necessary improvements to strengthen their weaknesses and double down on their strengths so they can win more deals. So really obvious, easy sell when somebody captures the vision. But what we were running into, the problem is that we'd reach out to companies who were not doing this in a comprehensive way or in an ongoing way, but they believed they were still doing it. We'd get on a sales call with them and it would be like, oh yeah, we already do that. We track deals in our CRM. Our sales reps log why we win and lose in the CRM.
Yep.
And so I've already got that data. And they hadn't really caught the vision. And very frequently what we would find is product marketers would glom onto this message and they'd be like, yes, this is part of my role. I want to understand why we win and lose, but I need to prove to the leadership, to the executive team, that this is a worthwhile investment, that we can actually see a positive ROI from this. And so what we realized is that from an enablement perspective, they were having a really hard time making a case for a program like this to be established in their company. And so what I realized is that there was this hurdle before a prospect could become a customer, there was a hurdle they had to overcome. And what they had to do was essentially do what we would do for them so they could justify and show data, show customer quotes, show stories, show evidence that this practice of conducting these interviews on an ongoing basis could yield like really awesome results. And so what we did is we devised a 6-part course that walked them through, that basically indoctrinated them into our way of thinking and our methodology. And we gave them all the tools and resources and teaching that they needed to stand up their own internal win-loss program and basically pick something they wanted to investigate in their business to understand better and go out and interview their customers and then report their findings to the leadership. And what we have found was repeatedly over and over, we had customers come through our pipeline that said, hey, the reason I'm here is because over the last 6 months, I've been doing your 6-part course.
Yep.
I just did a readout to my leadership team, and it was so much better and more detailed and more impactful than just pulling a CRM report that they're like, how do we do this more? How do we do this better? And the natural transition was, well, there's a provider that can help us do this.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
Yeah. So this course essentially was like how this came to be. We thought about like, what's the step a company or the problem a company needs to solve before they can actually sign on the dotted line and become a customer.
Yeah. So tell me, was it branded using this company's name, or was it just a neutral third-party brand?
No, it was branded using our name. The way we launched it was we did a weekly live YouTube/LinkedIn event, and we literally just live streamed the course. And then I took the recordings and put them into an LMS where they can be accessed in perpetuity. But it was definitely like, it was free, it was accessible to everybody, but it was a way to establish ourselves as thought leaders and a way to kind of offer value before asking for something from our buyers.
I think that's great. I mean, it builds on the insight that's been going on for, 15 years, which is no one wants to talk to salespeople. So the fact that you just kind of say, here are our cards, we're showing you everything. I think it's a super smart marketing strategy, and one that, like, that's the true job of marketing, right? The salesperson may be saying, why are you doing that? You're slowing things down. But ultimately, that's what the buyer needs. And if the buyer needs a couple months, what I've also experienced when I've done similar things for my own business or clients is that when that type of marketing works, they are ready to buy. Like, you are not selling. They are clearly buying because they've got religion and they're just like, we have to work together. So it's fun getting new clients that way because it's a total role reversal from someone who is the traditional style of sales, which is essentially you're interrupting them somehow, getting their attention and then focusing them and saying, I want you to think this way and do this now. But I'm assuming that was your experience, right? Like, you've got people who are just raising their hands.
Yeah, people who are really excited. People who had wanted to do this for a really long time. People who knew this was part of their job role. People who saw the benefits that a program like this could have across the entire company, not just the sales team. And they were just aching to get it launched and just didn't have the direction, didn't have the resources. one of the beautiful things about doing this course is we did get to like indoctrinate people into our methodology, but additionally, it showed what a heavy lift it is to do something like this. And it kind of demonstrated the sunk costs involved in running a program like this internally, and the value of having an external third party who has technology to support and teams who specialize in certain things, and how basically having a third party do it would enable the internal employee to facilitate change instead of like transcribe interviews and set appointments all day and do a lot of the more menial tasks that get automated on our end.
Yeah. When you came up with the idea, or someone on your team who did, like, what was the reaction by senior management? They embrace it, or were they skeptical at first?
I definitely had to pitch it in a way that played to their interests. And one of the things was really at the top of mind for our leadership was wanting to focus more on thought leadership content. At the time, industry still is just emerging. I don't think a lot of B2B companies have really thought about having a third party perform win-loss analysis services or even know that a technology exists to help facilitate that. So we're still in the early adoption phase, and their focus was how do we educate our audience and show that we are the best, that we are the thought leaders in this industry. And so I positioned it as like, hey, we're going to do these educational videos, and then was able to kind of tack on the bonus of we can turn this into a course that we promote to our prospects down the road.